What's up, everybody? It's Alex Sigrist, and I'm back for another Alex Uncut. I'm going to skip the introduction this time because I'm going to go right into it. I got a question in last week's Uncut that was, what's your favorite quote that inspired you? And I was thinking about what inspired me. I was like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that inspire me, I guess. What could it be? Maybe it's the one from Jim Carrey that talked about his father working hard at something he hated and eventually getting fired from what he hated. It's a good quote. Maybe it's about kindness or empathy. But I was thinking, what gets me out of bed in the morning? What makes me challenge myself? What makes me love more? What makes me go into an empty studio with a whole bunch of crap around me and be by myself for a simple YouTube video? What drives me? And there's a quotation in my head that I don't know where it came from. It might be my quotation, to be honest, but more likely it was a quotation that I heard from someone else, and then I twisted it into my own desire, like what I wanted it to say. I'm not entirely sure. If I ever find it, I'll put it in the description, but for now, I said it. And I know it sounds like I'm bragging, but it's just what drives me, no matter what. The quotation is simple. Live life so that you'll have the best stories to tell in the retirement home. Let's go on a journey, shall we? When I'm going to be in the retirement home, well, I don't know what I'll be doing, but I know I won't be doing as much as I am now. Not going to be able to stand for as long, chew as much food, do as many things, travel to the other side of the world. Because that's probably why I'm receiving care from nurses. My body's just not able to do the things that it used to do. So when I'm there, what will I be able to do besides eat and see my family when they come to visit me? And maybe they don't even want to, but, make the grandkids come. Now, what is it? Stories. The stories and the memories that we have to tell. That is what's going to get me through those days. And really, at that time in our life, that's all we have. We have our stories, our memories, and the people that are with us to the end. Live life so that you have the best stories to tell at the retirement home. Now, I'm going to talk quickly about an article that was going around 2 years ago. It was by Bronnie Ware, I believe, an Australian nurse who provided counseling to those people who were dying at the end of the rope. And she put together a list of 5 of the most common regrets that people had. The regrets that stood out were, number 1, they wished they pursued their dreams and inspirations, not what others expected of them. Now, how true is this? When you think about what you wish you would have done when you were 15 or 20 or 25 or even 30, 40, 50. When people told you, you're not going to be an athlete, go be a doctor or go into business. You're not going to be able to make a lot of money in business. Make sure you join a company, not do your own thing. There's no money in guitar. Don't play guitar and join a band. Make sure you become a respected official of some sort. And a lot of people do that. In fact, if you consider the proportion of people that do super cool jobs to the proportion of people that do jobs that they like, to the proportions of people that do jobs that they have to do, it's not a lot that are doing their dream jobs. That's not to say that jobs in the middle aren't dream jobs. By all means, being a teacher can be your inspiration. Even if it doesn't make a lot of money, if you love what you do, which I've done before, I loved teaching, it's still an amazing job. But the same could be said for people who are trying to be guitarists, musicians, who want to be scientists, astronomers, the first female president of the United States, whatever it may be. People have been telling us our whole lives that we can't do it, and that is just something that I won't stand by. The second one is, I wish I didn't work so hard. Now, this one I get, and I realize I'm breaking that rule right now, and I am worried about it. See, when we work too hard, we miss all those fun opportunities in life that I'm going to talk about when we get to the gist of the quotation. Right now, I've missed my chance to go swimming this summer. I might have a chance in a few weeks, but I haven't because I grabbed my camera with me when I went to Busan and I made a video. And I loved it. Trust me, I love my hobby. It's a lot of fun, but I didn't slow down and smell the ocean breeze. Well, I did, but I didn't get to go in the ocean. So I missed that. If we work too hard, we miss those opportunities that we're going to need to tell those stories in the nursing home. The next one, they wish they had the courage to express their feelings, speak their mind. That includes to those that you want to love, those that you do love, and of course, standing up to those who are putting you or your family or loved ones down. That's something that is simply at the core of who we are, that allows us to be proud of ourselves when we get into the retirement home. I stood up when I needed to stand up. And in America right now, you best believe people better be standing up. You know what I'm talking about. Stop separations. Next up, they said, I wish they stayed in touch with their friends. I wish I stayed in touch with my friends and I could see those that I was with, or at least send letters to them or call them and find out what they're doing. We're lucky. We do have social media. But social media, as a warning, is something that is making it seem like we're still in touch with friends. Seeing what they do isn't seeing what they do. You and I both know that when you see something on social media, it's kind of a nice filtered version of reality. So you actually have no idea what your friend from high school is doing, even though you always watch their pictures and think they're doing something amazing on the other side of the world. You really don't know unless you send a message to them. So don't just be friends on Facebook. Be a friend through Facebook. There's that. And finally, I wish I had let myself be happier. That was a simple one about appreciating what you have, appreciating the things around you without going for materialistic things that don't really matter in the end. Appreciate your family, appreciate the house that you do have, appreciate the roof over your head, whatever it is. So now that we got that cornerstone of what we're going to regret when we get to the retirement home, we go back to the quotation of today. Live life so that you'll have the best stories to tell in the retirement home. So what are the stories that we're going to want to tell when we're in that retirement home? See, this is the answer right here, but we have that background knowledge of what we'll regret, and now we can jump into the stories we're going to talk about. So this is my list right here. I'm my own expert. I don't know if it's going to be a good idea or not, but we dive right in. Of course, we'll talk about the places we went. Now, they may be around the world, and they may be in different parts of the state or country that we live in. Maybe different parts of your own city. But when you're at that age where you're 60, 70, 80, 90, we're going to talk about the places we went to. We're going to talk about the oceans and the sunsets. And I know it's going to start sounding cheesy, but you know it's going to be true. We're going to talk about the people we met when we went to those places. We're going to talk about the food that we ate. We're going to talk about the time that we got lost and somehow got out alive. And we're like, whoa, what just happened? We're going to talk about the places we traveled to. Next, we're going to talk about the challenges that we took on. Whether it's with our job, with our family, or with having a family, the things that we overcame are what define us. And the things that we didn't attempt to overcome are also what define us. So in this particular case, I'm thinking about health. Did you try that marathon when you were young and you could still do it? Did you try to get a six-pack? Did you at least try to eat healthier or maybe learn how to cook something? It's not always about gaining weight or losing weight, but just being overall healthier and being able to carry the luggage up a flight of steps by yourself with one arm when you're going to the airport. Are you talking about your jobs, your hobbies? I really wanted to learn photography, so I thought about it and never did that. Are those the things that we're going to remember? I don't know. But once we get those challenges and we accomplish them, if you accomplish it or if you try and fail, we now have stories to tell in the retirement home. And we're going to be proud of those attempts, no matter what. We're also going to have those embarrassing stories with friends. And this is where I want to encourage you to take those risks in life. To go cliff jumping, skydiving, to go ziplining across the water, to do stand-up comedy for the first time, to make a YouTube video and just embarrass yourself with your friends, or to go on someone else's and guest on a YouTube video. You know, whatever it may be, this is something that is at the core of it all. The core of the quotation. Trying things that are going to give us something to talk about. Did you try to enter a cooking contest on TV and you failed miserably, but it was hilarious when the food exploded in the middle of the show? You're thinking, oh my gosh, that would be embarrassing. Do you know how hilarious that's going to be in the nursing home? That is going to kill, especially when a new person comes in who's about to, die. But one of the last things they say is, oh my gosh, You're that dude on the cooking show that almost blew up the entire studio. That is going to be so much credibility in that nursing home, right? And so that's how you can start to see how I start thinking about the things I do now and how I'm going to remember them when I'm at that age. The people you helped, I think that is going to be a source of pride for sure. Maybe you tell those stories, maybe you don't. Maybe you keep that to yourself. But the people you help, the people you give advice to, you mentor along the way, when you see them growing up and when you see them accomplish great things, you know that a part of that was you, and a part of the world becoming a better place through them was you. Yo, that's a source of pride, man. I mean, how cool is that? At that point, we're old anyway. If you want to tell people how you help the world, that's cool. I mean, forget the humility thing at that point. I mean, if you want to be humble and whatever, that's cool, but be proud of who you helped. The kid that you helped tutor and they got into a school and they became a politician who made a bill that lowered gun violence in the United States or in Korea. Well, not gun violence, but you know what I mean. You could be one of those people that helps someone through money, through time, whatever it may be. The last thing I will bring up is, of course, as cheesy as it gets, but you know as important as it gets. It's the people you love. That includes your family, staying in contact, making sure that you go see them once a year if you can, more often if you live close. You do the best you can to stay in contact through social media, through email, through freaking writing a letter, something. Maybe you have a chain email with your family. That works. But staying in touch with the people you love and being with them to the end, that is going to mean the most. I don't have to explain why. But I will also say that includes your friends that you're on this journey with. Maybe you're in a YouTube team together, and this is how you survive being in a foreign country, and you realize we've only got each other on this side of the world if things go wrong. That is caring about the people who are close to you, loving those around you. It's cheesy, but these are the things that we're going to talk about, especially if those friends and family that you love are in the same nursing home. Oh, you guys are going to be like the coolest people ever. Think about it. Now, let's take that all together one more time. My favorite quote that gets me through this life. Live life so that you'll have the best stories to tell in the retirement home. So what does that mean? Does that mean you have to go skydiving? You have to have 50 best friends? That you have to be in love with everyone around you? No. Each person has a different story to tell. You may just want to be a teacher who impacts the world only in one small corner of their city. But that corner is going to change the world because of the people you teach. You may have big dreams like becoming the president of the United States or of Korea or of England or of Canada, prime minister, whatever, you know. You may have those dreams as well. But they're no different, because if you have that as your dream, or being a social worker, or being someone who makes stupid YouTube videos, that is your dream, is your story to tell. And if you love your story, you're going to have some of the best stories to tell at the retirement home. So live your life like you want those stories, and you're going to be proud of them when you get there. I'm going to brag the heck out of this ridiculous studio that we made with money that we haven't made yet. So that's it. Hopefully, this quotation changes one person's life, or maybe 2 or 200 or 300. I don't know how many, but this means a lot to me. This is how I view the things that I do, and I hope that you can at least get a different perspective on how to view your accomplishments, your goals, your fears, your desires, and all those things in between. That's it. If you have someone you want to add on to the conversation, please do, especially this one, because I love this quotation, and I love inspirational quotes. If you have a different quotation, just jump in down below in the comments section. Would love to hear more about it. As always, leave a question for next week as well. We'll do some more later on. By the way, I did choose 2 more because I always try to answer a few more questions the end of each Alex Uncut. We have T-War says, $1 billion just landed in your bank account. What are you going to do? Going to pay off all my family's debts, give them a little bit of extra money on the side, I'm going to help fund a couple of projects that my friends do that I do believe in, not just giving away free money, and paying off the studio, for sure. So pray for that lottery victory. I do that first. I travel, and I set up some investments so that not only will I have money in the future, I have money now to give and donate and share with organizations that need it. Probably invest in things like green technology and, plant-based foods. Even though I'm not a vegan, I think it's pretty cool what they're doing. So that's what I would do. Next question. What's your favorite holiday? My favorite holiday is always the one I can never go to. So I'm going to say 4th of July in America. I miss having barbecues and swimming and fireworks and hanging out with friends and family. And I think, hoping, next year, July 4th, 2020, I'm going to be doing 4th of July in America. That's all I got for this week. This was Alex, as real as it gets. Alex Uncut, as real as it gets. You know how it is. I can still mess up my own ending. Always remember, if you want the best stories for the retirement home, be good, do good, feel good, and of course, repeat. See you next time. Goodbye, Hase, yo.